Lights out. Overnight storms knock out power to thousands.
We are going to have power outages associated with weather.
With more storms on the way, are you ready? Details straight ahead. Plus, the suspect in a fatal shooting is not who you'd expect. The surprising twist in an Engleside tragedy. Chris 6 News starts right now. Thanks for joining us. I'm Suzanne Stevens. Andy Lascano has the night off. If your power has gone out recently, you're not alone. Wind and rain caused outages from Rockport to Padre Island and more. Texas AEP says around 7,000 Coastal Bend customers were without power this morning, and more storms are expected tonight. Meteorologist Julia Quady joins us now with more on what we can expect for tonight.
Yes, so as we all know, showers were very active last night, overnight, heading towards this morning. So those long, strong lines of showers and thunderstorms passing through the area. That's this loop of Doppler radar showing behind me, that strong line of shower activity that we endured yesterday. And we're going to be in for a round 2 ahead for us tonight. We did have a bit of a break during our morning and afternoon hours. Right now, looking at our current conditions, looking at mostly sunny skies, clocking temperatures towards the upper 80s to low 90s, 90 degrees here in Corpus Christi with a feel like temperature of 96, 85 over in Port Aransas feeling like 93, as well as Rockport sitting at 85, feeling like 92, but areas further on out to the west, more inland neighborhoods like Alice, you guys are sitting at 93 degrees, but it feels like the triple digits right now in your neighborhood. Again, looking at mostly clear sunny skies, a stark difference from how stormy we started our day earlier this morning, but we are expecting a return of those stormy, maybe even severe weather ahead for us tonight to the early morning hours tomorrow on your Wednesday, as you do have a slight to marginal risk of severe weather in the forecast across South Texas. More details on what that forecast is shaping out to be in just a bit.
Those overnight storms knocked out power to thousands on Padre Island. While most customers were back online by sunrise, some local businesses are still paying the price. The storms hit harder than expected, leaving more than 7,100 AAP Texas customers in the dark. Most saw their power restored quickly, but not before the outage disrupted early morning routines and business operations.
Well, we don't lose power every time there's a storm, but we do lose power if sometimes the storm is heavy enough to affect our facilities. And that could be if maybe we're blowing trees into the lines, or maybe if the winds are strong enough. We saw some pretty strong winds last night, and so that could have been the culprit in some areas.
That impact was felt at the Donut Palace on Padre Island, where owner Billy Long says outages happen too often and cost too much.
We cook the sandwich, we cook the kolache, when the power went out, so the stuff so I had to throw away.
Long estimates he lost $600 worth of business today. Last night's outages were a wake-up call for many, and if storms like that can knock the power out, it begs the question, are you ready? It's suggested that you get familiar with AEP Texas website. They have an outage map with live updates. If storms cut your cords, keep your fridge and freezer closed to preserve food. You can also disconnect appliances to avoid electrical surges, and make sure you have an emergency kit with things like first aid, flashlights, and a portable phone charger handy.
Hurricane season starts this weekend, and everyone is starting to prepare. And when I say everyone, I mean everyone. I'm Michaela Chavez, your Sunrise Neighborhood News reporter at the Texas State Aquarium. Preparations are well underway at their Wildlife Response Operations Center to make sure all animals here and across the state are safe.
A few weeks ago, we started to review our hurricane plan for the 2025 season.
Just like some people who are caught off guard during storms, wildlife can be shaken too. The president and CEO of the Texas State Aquarium tells me his team has a hurricane plan as it pertains to animals. Jesse Gilbert explains each of the 3 parts.
Prepare, respond, recover.
The first, preparation.
How do we integrate with other community partners around wildlife?
The prep, Gilbert says, begins with picking a place for animals to ride out the storms.
Our campus at the aquarium is built for big storms. We've put in new high water mitigation response for the aquarium to make sure that we're protected as possible.
The aquarium's indoor facilities measure 18 feet high, which he says can handle a historic rise in sea level.
So at about 48 hours pre-landfall, we start moving those animals inside.
About 40 people on Gilbert's team hunker down with those animals to help make sure all of them stay safe.
This is like a small city. We can become completely isolated for about 7 to 10 days.
Then comes the response.
What were the impacts to sea turtles, birds, maybe manatees or dolphins?
Once the winds calm and water levels go down, Gilbert will send out crews to assess the impact on the wildlife's habitat.
Was there something where maybe a boat got capsized and it released some fuel into the water?
And the recovery is not just for animals at the aquarium. The aquarium's rescue efforts go beyond the coastal bend. This video from last year shows the team helping birds injured when Hurricane Beryl smacked Houston.
They all have very specific needs post-storm, so a sea turtle's needs are different than a bird's needs, so how are we ready for that? And then making sure that we can recover the community. So it's a dynamic time, but we're ready to go.
Jesse Gilbert says there's something to learn from every hurricane and tropical storm that hits to help improve and adapt to continue keeping wildlife and animals safe all year round. In North Beach, I'm your Sunrise Neighborhood News reporter Michaela Chavez, Chris 6 News.
A drainage improvement project is making a splash in London. Take a look.
Oh man, okay, Gary, come on, there we go.
There was a ribbon cutting for a new detention pond today. It holds 6 million gallons of water and is expected to address some of London's flooding issues when heavy rain hits the area. Excess water is retained by the pond and then gradually flows into Oso Bay.
We're trying to prevent as much of the sheet flooding that we have out here when the rains hit hard, and so this will be a part of it. Instead of all this water going all over the place, it'll stay here in this detention pond, again, holds 6 million gallons of water. It'll then drain slowly as it goes into that back ditch over there, and then eventually it'll get to the Oso.
Chesney says the project was financed with ARPA funds from Precinct 4. The suspect in a fatal shooting in Engleside has been identified as a CCISD police officer. CCISD Police Chief Kirby Warnke tells Chris 6 that 29-year-old Ashley Transmeyer has been placed on administrative leave. Around 8:30 Monday morning, Engleside police were called to a home on Capehart for a report of gunshots. When officers arrived, they found 54-year-old Albert Florencio Howie dead. Minutes after the shooting, police got a call about a woman passed out in a vehicle. That woman was Ashley Transmeyer, and she had reportedly taken narcotics. Transmeyer was taken to the hospital and treated, and then taken to jail and booked on murder charges. According to a statement from the Engleside police, the shooting may have be linked to a love triangle involving the victim, Transmeyer, and a third family member. We now know the name of a man who was found dead last week near Spawn Shoreline Hospital. The medical examiner's office has identified him as 68-year-old Gary Boyette. His body was found last Thursday on the 1300 block of 3rd Street. His cause of death is still being investigated.
I'm Tony Jaramillo on the South Side, speaking with a well-known Corpus Christi DJ who was on the kidney transplant wait list for over 4 years.
Is Veterans in Focus, sponsored by the Heil Law Firm, battling for justice, winning for the community.
We love spotlighting people and places making a real difference in our community. This week's Veteran in Focus is all about New Century Hospice, a place that embodies that spirit. They were recently named a Purple Heart entity, a designation not given lightly. It comes from Military Order of the Purple Heart Chapter 598, and it's reserved for organizations that go out of their way to support veterans.
They're doing a lot of work in the veteran community, and many of their patients are veterans.
Isn't just about recognition, it's about compassion, dignity, and how this local hospice is quietly redefining what care looks like at the end of life. Join us for the full story tonight at 6.
I'm Tony Jaramillo on the South Side. Many in the Corpus Christi community know DJ Ray Ray for spinning records, but kidney failure slowed him down. Now he's ready to spin some more as he received what doctors call a perfect match for a kidney donation.
The complications started about 6 years ago. I would retain a lot of fluid. My legs were really swollen. I could barely walk.
Known for bringing the energy to venues, Reynaldo DJ Ray Ray Reyes' world was flipped upside down when he found out he had kidney failure. Reyes began dialysis 3 times a week. The treatment that kept him alive also limited his ability to perform and live normally.
You sit down in that chair and your your mind, the way your mind works is, I just want to get out of this chair. You know, I don't want to be here anymore.
Then last August, his sister Veronica felt a calling that would change both of their lives.
I was at church one day. I was going through something personal. So what I heard that day opened the door to this.
Veronica decided to get tested to see if she could donate a kidney to help her brother. She surprised the family with a video revealing she was a perfect match. The surgery took place on April 24th.
My left kidney, I named her Felicia. So now I get to say bye, Felicia.
Now, 1 month later, both siblings are recovering. DJ Ray Ray now forever grateful to his sister.
And I know maybe in her mind she says, I'm not a hero, but to me she is.
DJ Ray Ray tells me he has a long road to recovery, which could take months, but tells me he's eager to start DJing again. On the South Side, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Tony Jaramillo, Chris 6 News.
While a DJ is spinning his life around, local talent is buzzing at the Scripps Spelling Bee. Isaac Consejo is representing Baker Middle School and the entire Coastal Bend in the national competition. In today's first round, Consejo spelled point de pluie correctly in the second round. He was asked for another word for dwaddle, and he answered loiter, which was correct. Congratulations to Isaac for advancing. We'll continue to update you on as the competition continues. Well, I know how to say and spell traffic trouble. Let's head over to Julia Quady with a look at your roadways.
All right, now taking a live look outside of our Whataburger Sky Cam of Whataburger Field. You can get a double view here of our old Harbor Bridge and our new Harbor Bridge that's still being constructed. We can see on terms of traffic flow, things are moving pretty well on the right side of your screen from that view of the Harbor Bridge. Let's go and take a look at our traffic flow maps now to get a better and closer look. And we're pulling over to the Harbor Bridge. Things are moving well with no traffic issues at this time. Moving now towards downtown, all clear on Ocean Drive. There's a little bit some small congestion that you might encounter throughout portions of SPID as well as on Saratoga. Moving on over to Flower Bluff, same thing on Waldron Road and Flower Bluff Drive, but then heading on the Jacob Causeway, going to and from the island, look at easy driving conditions. That's it for Traport. A digital forecast coming up. Hey there, good afternoon and welcome back. I'm meteorologist Julia Quady. This view behind me that we're taking a look from our Sand Dollar City Sky Cam over in Port Aransas can make you kind of forget all those overnight showers and thunderstorms that we saw across throughout the coastal bend, because since this morning and now throughout our afternoon, things have been pretty dry, looking at ample blue skies and plentiful sunshine for us this afternoon, adding toward the summertime-like heat that we had this afternoon too. Now looping with Doppler radar, we can see that strong line of showers and thunderstorms that just passed on through overnight and earlier this morning. So again, things have been dry for the past few hours now at this point, but we are expecting a round two of that same shower activity that may even have more inklings to become severe overnight tonight too. More details on that in the next few minutes. Right now, taking a look at our temperatures and feel like temperatures across the area. Here in Corpus Christi, sitting at 90 degrees, feeling like 96, 91 over in Robstown with a feel like temperature of 100. Over in Kingsville, you guys are sitting at 93 degrees, but it feels like 102 right now, stepping outside your door. So again, that heat is still on for us this afternoon with some pretty light winds, light breeze coming in every now and then throughout this afternoon too, coming in from the southeast, upwards around maybe 10 up to 14 or maybe 17 miles an hour, winds being clocked over in the Bluff and NAS Corpus Christi, but again, pretty much a light breeze at the most across the area. Looking at our hourly heat, we have kind of gotten over the hump, so to speak, of the most highest feels like temperatures that we experienced so far today. This afternoon, things will be on the decrease over the next few hours. We'll see our feel like temperatures begin to drop towards the lower 90s and eventually the upper 80s as we approach our evening hours, our late evening hours, I might add, and we'll also see our air temperatures begin to drop towards the lower 80s as well. Now, our rain chances, like I mentioned, we're going to be in for round two ahead for us tonight, so we'll see those showers and thunderstorms begin to pick up again late tonight, carrying over towards our overnight hours, even that potentially extending towards our time we'll be waking up and starting our day on our Wednesday, even throughout portions of the midday hours as well, with still some shower activity that's going to continue to linger. But the time frame where we expect these showers to potentially have some severity to them, that's going to mostly be our overnight hours. And what's going to be one of those trigger points that's going to cause that is going to be this frontal boundary that's going to kind of flirt going back and forth nearby the coastal bend area. And along with that, we'll see a couple wrinkles in the upper levels of our atmosphere, causing deep plumes of moisture that's going to surround the majority of the coastal bend, also triggering some of those strong showers and thunderstorms that could cause some heavy downpours and again have that potential to become severe at times. So this plume of moisture is going to last in the area overnight, even heading towards the early morning hours on your Wednesday as well. So for that reason, we do have a marginal to slight risk of severe weather that's going to be in the forecast today, extending across the coastal bend. So that means you need to make sure you're staying weather aware ahead for tonight. Even by the time you're waking up tomorrow, you just want to be extra cautious on your morning commute with these strong showers and thunderstorms, because they will be scattered, short-lived potentially, and not widespread, but still just enough to give you some pause to make sure you're keeping yourself safe, especially heading out the door late tonight or early tomorrow morning for your morning commute. Looking at Future Tracker, this is how this could pan out. We could see one strong line start to pass on through around 2 o'clock this morning, then begin to break apart and spread across all along the coast with some heavy downpours and thunderstorms that will pass on through the area late tonight to early tomorrow morning, your Wednesday. But even after this rain event today is over, we'll see daily rain chances sticking around the forecast throughout the rest of this week.
Now, all month long, we've been celebrating Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month by sharing stories that highlight its impact right here on the coastal bend.
Yes, from Chinese to Vietnamese and also Filipino culture too. So today we're taking you to the south side for a taste of Korea.
Korean food is constantly evolving.
This is a Korean bulgogi taco, not Mexican taco, Korean taco.
But it still honors tradition seasoned by history and geography.
In Korea, it's very cold. They designed this so the food is always hot and it's fast.
But there's one dish that's truly fired up palates in the U.S. That's Korean barbecue, also known as gogi gui, which literally means meat roast. It's been a staple of Korean cooking for centuries.
It started in ancient Korean kingdoms with marinated meats grilled over open flames, evolving through royal courts, aristocratic feasts, and even borrowing a spark or two from Mongol nomads and their fire-roasted traditions.
Today, it's become something more than just a meal. It's an interactive tabletop grill experience where you're not just served, you sizzle.
You don't come here just for the food. You come here for the experience.
That's exactly what Bo Korean Barbecue has been serving up in Corpus Christi. The owners, Michael Wynn and New Bo, opened the restaurant in 2021.
It come out to be a joke in the beginning. We were jobless because of COVID, but then they agreed with my joke.
It was a bold move, the kind that literally put them in the kitchen to see if they could take the heat.
Everything is very challenging to order supply, to have it built, to have a remodel.
And in South Texas, where grilling usually happens in the backyard, the idea of DIY dining at your table took some warming up to.
The phrase that it always stuck in my head is, we have to pay to cook our own food.
But Wynn said that it's actually pretty simple.
Everything come out fresh and ready to grill.
And you have people like Unju who's there to guide you along the way.
They trust me, so when they're not here, I'm here always. Have to be always is respecting the people. That is more important to the Korean culture.
And that same respect and care isn't just about serving the guests. It comes from a value Koreans place around sharing.
You see it in the sizzling meats, but just as importantly, it lives in banchan, the small, vibrant side dishes that fill the table before the grill even heats up.
We're talking about kimchi, pickled radish, seasoned sprouts, dozens of flavors, textures, and stories, all meant to be passed around.
That's why we're different than everybody else. We like the customer to have a good time. Personally, I love it and my wife love it. We just want to share it with everybody.
It's really not just about what's on the grill. It's about who's around it.
Whether you're friends,
family,
or in our case, an interview.
I hope Corpus give us a try. We'd love to welcome everybody to come by and give us a try.
Now, Bo Korean Barbecue will be hosting a Korean festival on Sunday, June 1st from noon to 4 p.m.
That's right. They're going to have Korean street food, different games like those in Squid Games, live music, and prizes. They're located at 6042 South Padre Island Drive. And little known fact, that was the first spot that Michelle and I went to after coming here to the Coastal Bend. Reporting from the studio, I'm Brian Hoffman.
And I'm Michelle Hoffman, Chris 6 News.
You're watching Chris 6, part of the Scripps News Group.
Welcome back. Before we let you go, we want to remind you for the potential for power outages tonight. Julia joins us with a final look at the weather. What time are these storms going to be running in, you think?
Overnight into the early morning hours on our Wednesday. Now, the timing is not exactly precise because it all depends on how these short waves begin to bubble in over the area. So the timing could vary ever so slightly. Down to the hour, but for sure we will expect some severe weather late tonight to the early morning hours that could even extend towards the morning commute ahead for your Wednesday. But we are looking at scattered showers and thunderstorms that aren't only going to last for tonight, but daily rain chances that'll be in the forecast towards this upcoming weekend.
All right, well, we'll see you then. We'll see it. That's all the time we have for now. We invite you back at 6 for more news in your neighborhood. We hope to see you then.